too large, particularly focusing on skirts today and a dress. Why did I wait to 2 days before? Because I work good under pressure. In the world would you find in this clothing? Oh, I found some gems. Okay, just bear with me. Okay, we're not gonna judge this. It doesn't look. It is ginormous. $1. Gather the material that is extra, and you're just gonna connect it with the thread. Don't stress out about it has to be perfect. I said bear with me. I don't know what's going on. We don't. Does it look like you have a dump in your drawers? Possibly. Are you horrified? From the front, nailed it. Comment. Stop doing anything with taking in clothing. Okay? Just kind of winging it to get rid of this extra material. Cinch it in the waist to where it fits here. Pull up this waist. Change of plan, if that makes sense. None of this makes sense. Let's be realistic. I'm sewing a dress on to myself. How am I gonna get this off, you ask? I don't know. That's a mystery. Look at that! I got that on the first thing. Hi guys, I'm super excited to show you some tricks to taking in anything that is too large, particularly focusing on skirts today and a dress. The dress, we're gonna wing it. The skirts, I know exactly how to do this. I always thrift and don't limit myself to buying within my size only. I wear normally a small, but I will buy a medium, I will buy a large. I have bought up to like a 2X before with a skirt, because all you need is the material. And I'm gonna show you how to take it in. But I have 3 skirts that this video is also coming along under circumstances that I plan to wear this skirt this weekend. We have a little event that we're gonna go to for my husband's work, and I envision wearing this skirt, except when I thrifted it and brought it home, it was too large. I kind of thought that when I purchased it, but like I said, I'm gonna show you how we fix that. So skirt number 1, and this is our first project because we need this soon, in like 2 days. Because why did I wait to 2 days before? Because I work good under pressure. So this skirt is, I was looking for this. I actually had one of these in my Amazon cart, and it was like, I don't know, 20 bucks, I think. It's just a pencil skirt in black. And this one does not have a slit. The one I was looking for on Amazon had like a little slit up the back, you know, but it does have a zipper. This one might be a little tricky as well because of the zipper, but it is also large. So we're going to try to take this one in as well. I have a few ideas that can work for resizing it. This one I actually got, this one and the next one I actually got from my husband's grandma. She was getting rid of a bunch of clothing, and we were just like helping go through things. And I was like, oh, I really want to look through what she's getting rid of. And my mother-in-law was like, what in the world would you find in this clothing? Oh, I found some gems, okay? So there was this skirt. How gorgeous is this? It had a matching blouse, like I think it was maybe shoulder padded, but it was a little matching top basically. And this skirt is very large for just my size, and we're going to fix that. Simple fix. I'll show you. Now this is the one I'm not sure that I can accomplish. So we're gonna work on it together, but let me take this off because this will not do it justice unless I hold this dress up to myself and stand back, because it looks kind of scary and not doable, but again, in my head, I have a plan. So I'm going to show you. This is the dress. Okay? Just bear with me, okay? We're not going to judge this. Let me tilt this up a little too. Okay, so this is the dress. Right? Now, it doesn't look. It is ginormous, okay? But this is like a dream dress for me. I have a bunch of just like more vintage looking prints like this. I once thrifted one at a flea market for $1. $1. This was 8 years ago. It is still one of my favorite dresses, and it has this same structure to where it's like a little longer, like drop sleeve. And I've actually worn that dress on YouTube because I wore it to an event that night and then I filmed. So it's on my YouTube videos, my past ones. But anyway, this one also came with the matching belt. So once we cinch this in, right, you can just belt it. I have tried to belt it without taking any of it in, but I think the top is just too large, right? So we're going to take this in. Also, this, I'm going to try these on and show you what we're working with also, because just like holding this up and being like, oh, it's too big, it's not making any sense, I don't think, if you're trying to like compare for doing your own work on a piece. So this one would also be perfect if you like threw an oversized sweater on top of it and just layered it. Oh, this is just such a gorgeous piece. Like, I could do so many different things with this. You could put something under it. You could just put a cardigan over it. So we're gonna work on this one because in the spring, which is not far off, we're a couple months off of spring, I would love to wear this dress until I'm just sick of it. So we're gonna work on this piece too. But let me try each piece on. I don't think I'll talk for that. I'm gonna just put clips in of how big the pieces are, and then we'll work on altering them. So basically, in trying on each piece, they go up in difference from, like, this one needs a tiny pinch taken in, the next one a little more, the third will be much more, and then the dress, we're going to come up with something. But that's the largest. So what I've done now is I have turned the skirt inside out, okay? It's on me inside out, and I'm going to gather, let me get a little closer. I'm going to gather the material that is extra, and I'm going to just cross it over. I'm going to pin it to the side here. So that's the extra material that I don't need. Now, you pin this. You can safety pin it, use an actual push pin, you know, whatever you have. If I'm being 100% transparent, I am showing you guys the, like, all the steps version, because by now I have been altering skirts for so long that I can literally just eyeball it at this point, which if you love skirts and you start to do these alterations, you will get so used to it, you won't need to pin it and like measure it. So I would know just based off of like not even having pinned this that I would need to take in like an inch of the material. But you basically gather that extra material and pin it. And then when we go to sew it, which I'm going to sew it with you, all of the extra like bulk gets stuck inside of the skirt. So you won't see this. So let me show you. Let me move forward and we'll start sewing it, and then obviously I'll try it back on and we'll see the work together. So I have my trusty little kit that I have showed in past videos from just Aldi. I am going to grab black thread. Now technically I guess it wouldn't matter. Well, it would, because I always do along the seam up here as well, just to like super secure it, but most of the thread will be hid, so don't feel bad like, oh, I have to have a matching thread or the whole project's ruined. Like, just use what you have. You need thread, you need a needle and scissors. So very basic items. We're gonna just thread our needle, and you know, in all reality, it's the same process for the other two skirts, but I will show you after I mend those, especially the third one, what I do with the extra material. If need be, I'll show you that, because sometimes you want to like cut that away and just have less bulk. I don't know, I might get it to lay just right. Okay, so you're gonna just thread your needle. I also have mentioned in past work, I believe when I made the rabbit for my youngest, was that I buy my littles clothing bigger also, skirts as well, some pants, because I know like leggings are a big thing. Sometimes when they're in between sizes, I can't get them to, you know, one size is too small and one size is too big. So in kids clothing, I size up because I want to get the most use out of it. So I will just use the same technique to take it in, and then like I had mentioned, you can cut away the stitching and just continue to wear the same item for them. So I'm gonna start, this is the inside of our skirt, and I'm just gonna start sewing these together. So let me start it. You're gonna gather the material that you've already pinned up, and you're just gonna connect it with the thread. Basically making a new, I pulled that too fast. Also, here's a trick, if you don't know this, to tie your thread down. So you stick it through the first time, and then you gather your loop and you put it through and secure it. That way you're not tying little knots in your thread and having it take twice as long. So I would say I'm pretty sloppy about the sewing aspect. I do get it very tightly sewed, so like the stitching is close together, but I just throw some thread through there, you know. I don't sit and make it exactly perfect. Now that's to each their own, but basically this seam is hidden that you're creating, so you don't have to overthink it too much. But once you get along the edge here completely sewn together, I also secure it along the along the outer edge. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and remove our pin also. I'm pretty much pushing it out, and I don't necessarily need it to know what I'm doing, but you know, start with the pin until you get some of the material gathered, and then you can remove it. Okay, so our top half is sewn, right? Now on the outside of the skirt, if we were to flip it back out, this part is hanging. Like there's a gapping there, you know, from overlapping it. So what I do is I continue with the same thread. We can actually turn our skirt right side out too if that's more helpful. And you just want to follow that seam down to where you can feel there's like an elastic band in here, and each skirt's different. Whatever it is that it has, you'll kind of be able to tell when the skirt material picks up and you don't want to sew through that portion of it. You just want to connect it to the structure of the skirt itself. And then here you want to sew inward, so you want to set your thread up to where it comes out this way, but you pull it back through inwardly. So outward, you're going to take it out, and then you're going to put it back through in, so you don't have just like a, well, speaking of sloppy, like I do like that the stuff that's going to show to not be so crazy. But let's say you're going to wear this skirt with an oversized shirt at all times. I love wearing skirts with like a t-shirt or skirts with a heavy sweater. None of this will matter because your skirt band will be hid. So just don't stress out about it has to be perfect. Like I said in the beginning, it's just a matter of getting rid of that little bit of extra material. Okay, so I'm just running this back upward through the rest of the skirt to kind of use up that thread. And then when I get back to the top, now if you also prefer it be a little more, I guess, secure in future washes and such, you could double stitch this. You could go back through with more stitching. I have never really had a skirt come unstitched from just doing it once. So here I'm going to tie the knots here to just be able to cut the thread away. So earlier it's a little twisted. I don't remember when I learned this little trick, but it made me be able to stop tying little knots at the end of my thread to secure it. So basically you pull it through and it'll create a loop, and then you put your needle back through that loop and then pull it, and there's your knot. Okay, so that took us, if I wouldn't have been talking so much, which I'm very good at, that took a couple minutes. Okay, so we're going to retry this skirt on and I will show you what the difference is. Okay, ta-da! So the gap is gone. I'll show you what it does do sometimes. So like, because of the fabric of this skirt, I technically could run the stitching all the way down the side of this, right? I could just gather that and continue to stitch. But I don't care to do that. Like, this does not bother me because I will wear this with, even if I wore it with this tank top, that's why I have this black tank top on, by the way, because I figured it would go with everything. Even if I wore it with this, like, is that gonna bother me enough to try to stitch it all the way down? No, not at all, but it does stay on me now and it fits. So one thing I didn't mention also, so the tag is actually back here, right? And so when I try to lay my stitch to take it in, I do find the seam. So there's always a seam down each side, which, you know, connects the material. So I always take the seam and I try to match it along that. So where I overlapped it, there is a seam right here. So even though there's like this rouged up material, it flows with the direction of the skirt. Now, I have done skirts in the past where I could only gather it in the front because that's what made sense for the material. So with each skirt, you kind of got to just mess around with it and see where is my material gonna fall. and this one fell in this direction. So I just followed the curve of the material, basically, is what I did. So next up is the pencil skirt, which I think is going to be a little trickier. So let's get into that one. Okay. This one is inside out, and it's too clean in the front. It's too clean in the front, and it's too clean on the sides. So what I'm going to have to do is take it and alter it from the inside and the back. This is where the zipper falls, and this is where I can pull in the extra material to make it look the best it can possibly look. So you're going to take in that material, because remember, all this is going to be on the inside of the skirt. You're going to take it the same way if it's a pencil, and you're just going to pull it in to the middle. Now, I have never really done a pencil skirt, so this is kind of new to me. And we're going to see how this turns out, because I really don't know if this one's going to look as seamless because it's so fitted to the body. So I'm going to take this off, we'll stitch this one up and see what the results are. I'll actually come back and show you what the results are. It's the exact same process to stitch it. It will just be, we'll see how it turns out. That's what we're going to do. Okay guys, I'm going to need you to bear with me on this one, because the front, okay? Yes, we nailed it, right? Looks great, fits us, it's not going to fall off. Now, the zipper is gone, in the back, completely hidden. When I show you the back, I need you to hold tight and like see the whole vision, okay? Because at the end of this, or maybe after the end of each skirt, I'll show you how I would actually style it. So in the front, this looks great put together. You might think that's going to work. Now, leave your opinion below. In the back now, okay? I said bear with me, okay? Now we have this, right? I don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened. We do know because we just created a whole new seam. Does it look like you have a dump in your drawers? Possibly, okay? But what's not terrible about this is how we'll style it, and I will show you that. So, are you horrified? Possibly. I have socks on, so I'm not going to step all the way back, but from the front, nailed it, okay? So, you have to wait for the styling, or you can just comment, stop doing anything with taking in clothing, okay? So let's move on to the third skirt. I'm going to show you with this one also. This one is the biggest skirt of all of them. I have it inside out. This one has pockets. Ooh, this one has pockets. Okay, so basically, let's try to save, where's the other pocket? Okay, here's the pocket. So here's the beginning of the skirt. So I'm going to try to, yeah, I can save those. Okay, perfect. So basically, I am taking the material, here's the back where the tag is, and I am just folding it to fit my waist. Now, when I flip it out, my pockets, these are just things that you want to keep in mind when you're making the alterations. If you want to keep the pockets, then you need to measure yourself to where the pockets will sit naturally. So in this case, I'm going to take it all in the back here. I don't think there'll be any need to trim the fabric because this extra fabric will be hidden in the back here. So let me stitch this up and then I will show you the finished result. It's very similar to the first two. Skirt number 3. This one turned out so, like, I'm impressed with this one. So there's the back where that gap is, but it just lays, like, the material lays very nice, doesn't look strange to me. I mean, it's a flowy dress. And then here's the pockets. So we saved those. That's probably the most important part. We need pockets right, and so they're right in the right spot. Back looks good. But that was a gap of Here's where it starts. Here's where it ends. So what's that, like a 5-inch gap I took in, and it fits now. It'll fit for good. So we're going to do the dress, and I'm a little scared, but let's just get it done. Okay, so let me show you my perspective on this one. I personally love that it's like a drop shoulder and just a little oversized in the top part, okay? What I don't love is where the waistline fits, you know, where it drops to. So what I'm thinking I can do, this is inside out, by the way, is I'm going to take up the waistline, okay? Already you can see like the improvement in the fabric, and the shape. So we have a lot of material to work with, which will all be hidden on the inside. So let me think. If I took it in the back, back in the back area, I think that would probably work the best. So in this case, I'm probably going to show you how I sew, because it is going to be super rough and just kind of winging it to get rid of this extra material. So I'm going to cinch it in the waist to where it fits here, pull up this waistline to where all this extra material is just like blousey on the top, and then we're going to connect it in the back. And then when we turn it around, turn the fabric inside out again, we should, this is how my brain works, we should have like a form-fitting dress. So let's sew this one together and see what we come up with. Change of plans. I am going to have to sew this dress onto my body. Okay. Are there better ways to do this? Is there somebody out there who professionally alters things and is horrified right now? Absolutely. But I'm just going to live my life and do things as chaotically as I normally would do them. So we're keeping this dress on inside out. I'm going to repin it where I need it. The problem I'm having is every time I go to like remove it or pin it, it will not stay in the shape I need it to stay in. So we're gonna just sew it backwards while it's on our body with a sharp needle, and see what we come up with. So I'm gonna get the needle threaded, this resized, and maybe give you a glimpse of just my everyday, how my brain accomplishes things. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright, so I threaded my needle. I was able to change to white thread this time. I think that's probably the most appropriate, even though it will most definitely be hidden on the inside. I'm going to once again bring up the waistline, put it where I actually want it, and then I'm going to connect it over in the back. Now, when I go to sew this, where is it? Oh, right here. Okay, so when I go to sew this, I'm taking the actual waistline and I'm attaching the new size to that. So I have some type of structure to like sew into, if that makes sense. None of this makes sense. Let's be realistic. I'm sewing a dress on to myself. Okay, let's start. Now, how am I going to get this off, you ask? I don't know. That's a mystery. I'm going to use the camera, and we are going to roughly, even if I could just get a stitch or two in this, I could then remove it and everything. I could then remove it. There we go. And keep adding the stitching. Okay, so let me see. Did I gather anything? Yeah, look at that! I got that on the first thing. Okay, so look at this. This even gives me a little room to play around. So I want that up there. We're going to go back. And now it's not as tight. Ow, that was my finger. It's okay. We're gonna just pull that through again to create a knot. Alright, I think I can get this off now, and then I'm going to finish stitching it. So I will just save you right now. So I'll be back. Okay, I took it in. It's a hot mess. It really is. I'll show you the back, and I'm also going to show you it with the belt. So here it is. It looks great. I feel like the shape, I'm kind of blown away that I accomplished it because it is very frustrating. I need to tighten it up and, you know, do some stitching in the back that will make it look a little like less crazy. I didn't do that right now because I am getting frustrated with it, but the structure is there. So all of this was taken in. There's stitching here and there's stitching here. So if I could clean that up along the edges, it would be perfect. But I have a shape now. The dress is just the cutest thing, okay? I know it's not for everybody. But then, if I really want, it came with this belt, like I said. Now, I would need to make an extra hole. Okay, but it has this just adorable belt. And I don't have them up here. I thought I had them, but I have like strappy baby pink. They're like iridescent almost. Strappy sandals. I may go and grab them, but they tie around the ankle and they're just super simple. Are they up here? I don't know. No, they're definitely downstairs in my summer things. I usually put away my sandals and stuff for the summer, but I'm gonna stitch this in a little tighter. This could also though go with like, and I'll show this at the end. They could go with combat boots. Like you could totally pull that off for winter with hose and like cute little socks sticking out. You could do, let me show you this too. I'm gonna button. We're gonna just throw this under there because I would need to make another hole, you know. But I have like a ton of sweaters. Okay, so this one, oh, you know what? That might not work too much with the top half of this. But I guess we're going to go backwards in outfit styling because I just kind of went for it. But okay, you put this on. See, like here's what I mean. You could just do so many things with that. So then you take your belt and you cinch that under there, and here's an outfit. Like a more wintry outfit, and you would have black hose on, your combat boots, and it would be the cutest outfit ever. Now, it's not for everybody. I know people are going to be like, hello, are you okay? But that's fine. We all wear different things. But check that out. So you can get two purposes, two seasons. I don't think you'd ever have to put this dress away. But just keep in mind, if you're thrifting and you see something oversized, don't steer away from it. There are ways to alter it. You can always take it and have it altered, which I think is a great thing. So just don't be discouraged with buying something that's a little oversized for your liking. So I'm going to try on a few different outfits with each dress, and I will show you those for reference or just for my own purpose because I already have all this out. Why not try to figure an outfit out or two? And if you stuck around and watched this whole video, please let me know what you think of it. I love thrifting, and I think everyone should participate in it. Like, I just think taking someone else's things and making a new use for them is, like, just such a gift that some people overlook because they're just like, ew, somebody used that before. But it's just fun. It really is. It's just fun. So I'm going to try some outfits on, and I will see you guys next week.